up, you guys? Marty Schwartz here with Marty Music, and this video is dedicated to all things Eddie Van Halen tone. We're going to talk about the early Eddie Van Halen tone. You know, when you think of a giant wall of Marshall stacks and, you know, the charisma and fire and talents of Eddie Van Halen all combined. But we're going to do it. We're not going to use a giant wall of stacks. We're going to actually create an early Van Halen career tone with this awesome Boss Katana. And I'm going to walk you through all the different effects to get you there, as well as I'm offering the patch that I created. All you got to do is check out that link below. It's a free patch for this sound that we're going to get. But we're also going to talk about the tones. Now, I know a lot of guitar players out there love Van Halen, and you know, my personal experience is I'm an 80s kid, so I grew up in the 80s. Actually, the very first thing I remember about Van Halen was my older sister having the 45 vinyl record of Van Halen way back. Automatically a cool thing when your older sibling is playing it. So that kind of grabbed my attention, and then it came back around again with his clearly amazing solo in Michael Jackson's Beat It. You know, at the time, if you grew up in the 80s, the Thriller album was the biggest album of all time. So everyone knew that was going on. So you had, you know, this kind of rock god, but also, you know, popping up in the biggest pop song at the time as well. And then just the overall power of the whole Van Halen band as well. So it, you know, made a huge impact on me, just like so many other guitar players out there. Also, I just want to say I got to see Van Halen during the For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge tour. So that was with Sammy Hagar. And I didn't even play guitar yet, actually, when I saw them. So everything that I saw Van Halen do seemed like beyond what a mere mortal could do. He, you know, was clearly one of the best of all time. So we're all going to miss him, but he made a huge impact on me personally, and I know a lot of you guys out there. We're going to dedicate this to him right now, but let's dig in. I'm going to show you guys the tone studio for the Boss Katana, and I'm going to walk you through the effects I created to make this awesome patch. Let's dig in. All right, so what you're looking at now is the Boss Tone Studio for the Katana. My computer is plugged into the back USB port of the Katana and then into my computer, and I'm running this app. Now we're calling this patch Volcano 78, so we're going for that old school Van Halen sound. In fact, they called his sound the brown sound, and when you look here at the amp types, one of them is called brown. So it makes sense to give it a try, but you look over here, we have down here, we've got all this line of different effects possible. We've got the equalizer set a very specific way, a little bit bright. And then we've got the effects, right? So you can see that these effects are activated. So we've got mod, which if you look down here, it's a phaser. Nothing on effects, nothing on booster. And then delay, you go here, and the green light matches up with the tape echo. And then you've got reverb, which obviously is a classic kind of tone, right? So all together, we're dealing with this kind of thing. But I want to deconstruct it for you guys so you can hear how the effects are layered. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to this mod. We're going to remember that it's at 30. I'm going to turn that all the way down. The delay was at 44. We're going to turn that all the way down. The reverb's about halfway up. We're going to turn that all the way down. And then that leaves us just with the brown amp type and our EQ. So if we hear that, it's going to sound like this. It's not going to sound, you're not going to hear that echoey and phasery, those cool effects on top. You're just going to hear an overdrive sound. Sounds like this. You hear how there's no, you know, there's no elasticity to it and there's no affected sound. It's just overdrive. Now, if I went to lead, it's going to sound like this. Very similar. Crunch should be a little less. When I go to clean, right? So you can hear the different choices. And I think since Eddie Van Halen's tone was called the brown sound, then I think it makes sense for us to start with the brown amp type on the Katana. So now, once again, here's just the brown with the gain up past halfway, the volume up halfway. And then we've got the bass a little, a little past halfway, mid's a little past halfway, treble, at 77. So a nice brightness, and then no extra effects. So here's just the brown sound with no other effects. Yeah, feels great, but there's more to add. Now, booster is a choice we have here, but we already have so much drive from the brown channel that we don't need any kind of booster. But you can see here, I have all these different classic Boss pedals that are in this interface to choose from if I wanted. We're already really driven, so we don't have to worry about that right now. But we go to the next option, which is mod. And you can see over here is mod. I'm going to go up to where we were. In fact, all I have to do is I have the preset right here on number 2 in the amp presets. So I could screw this whole thing up, pick different things, completely forget what I did. Kind of fun, but sounds nothing like the patch anymore. How do I get back to it? I can just hit number 2 or on the foot control and go right back to the original. I'll hit 1, then I'll go back to 2. Boom. It's right back. All right, so just a, little Katana tidbit there. Now let's go to the mod. Now remember, the mod is at a phaser. And those early classics, I'm not playing the exact Van Halen songs, but when you get that palm muting on an A minor chord, that phaser sound. It adds a color to the overall tone. So check this out. Just so you can hear just the effect of phaser, what I'm gonna do is our mod is at 30, so that means our phaser is up to about 30%. I'm gonna turn that delay off again and the reverb off again, and then I'm gonna even put it on a clean tone right here. So all we have is a clean tone and the phaser. And that way you can just hear how the phaser colors the guitar tone. So check it out. So that's phaser at 30. If I turn it all the way up just to emphasize. If I turn it all the way down. So it adds a color and a vibe to the tone that your guitar is already creating. So now if we have just the brown sound and just phaser, it's pretty close. But you want that reverb and delay for that final, well, I like the word sheen. I used it in the cliches, things guitars say, add a little sheen to the top, but here's just the overdrive channel and just the phaser. Right? So it sounds great, but in my mind, it sounds dry, right? So there's no reverb, which is wetness, and there's no delay, which is that repeating sound. So when you add, it's funny, when you add delay and reverb, it immediately makes everything sound bigger, like stadium style sound. What's funny is you could actually crank a Marshall stack all the way up, and if you were in a stadium, you would get reverb and delay from the bounce back in a giant stadium. So in some ways, it kind of tricks your brain into that huge like cavern that you're in or a stadium, which is fun. It is definitely fun. Okay, so let's add, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go to channel 1, which is saved as a clean, and then go back to 2, which I have saved as our Volcano 78. There we are. Now we're back with the whole thing. But what I'm gonna do is the 2 effects left on this are delay. You guys, delay is such an important secret weapon to guitar playing. It's not a secret anymore because we have YouTube and whatnot, but there were these certain kind of tricks of the trade that I had to uncover by meeting great guitar players, you know, one-on-one, and figuring out their little special, the little special sauce. Anyway, all right, so let's just talk about this delay. It's green. Delay has its own setting here, and it's on tape echo, which is just the sound, the closest sound to the gear he was using, right? So, but if you look in here, you have analog echo, tape echo, reverse, which we're not gonna do, modulate, and then the STE 3000. So tape echo has kind of a warmer repeat sound. It's not as crisp and clear, which is kind of cool. So check it out. I'm gonna turn the reverb all the way down, and then I'm gonna slap the strings hard, and you can hear it repeat. And that's the delay. Now, even if you look here, there's a tap setting. So if you had a certain tempo that you were playing, it's already pretty close to that. It's, you know, it's echoing in time of that tempo of a riff. But if you had a quicker riff, you could just tap, and the repeats and echoes would be along with whatever speed you want. If you just tap 1, 2, 3, 4, echo, 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 or 1, 2, 3, 4, echo, 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 echo. Now let's just hear it with just clean, and then also with phaser off. And the reverb's already off. So now we're gonna just get the clean tone with the delay. So let's hear that. Let's go back to brown. Let's get phaser up into the 30, you know, 30, 32, something like that. It's fun, right? All right, we have one final effect. And also the chain of effects is important here. So the chain means the signal chain. Which effect is going into the next effect. So we have the overdrive into the phaser, into the delay, and then finally the reverb on top. So that also changes the tone, the order of effects. Reverb's the final thing. Now, all reverb is reverberation. When you're in your garage and you clap your hand and you it reverberates, or the classic, singing in the shower. Why do people sing in the shower? That reverb, that natural reverb, or people recording an acoustic guitar in the bathroom, stuff like that. Or maybe that's just me. I don't know. But anyway, reverb. It's exactly what it sounds like. So I'm going to turn that on. We had it a little past, or I'll just go right around halfway there. So here's everything together, the whole patch. So you have the repeats of the delay, but then the overall reverberation of the whole sound. So watch, I'll turn the reverb off. You still hear the echo of the delay, but you don't hear that reverberation. Here we go, reverb again. Halfway up. Now, if I turn the reverb all the way up, not that different. Not that different, but we're gonna go halfway. Now, just for the fun of it, we're gonna turn the delay off, the phaser off, and I'm gonna go to clean. So now all you're gonna hear is a clean tone, natural clean tone, with just the reverb, just to give you an idea. You hear that? That sound like it's in a room reverberating off the walls. Here it is, no reverb. Super dry would be the term. Now we go halfway up. You're gonna hear it sounds wet. Okay, so I'm gonna since it's already a patch, when you put the patch into your tone studio, you can take the patch and change it, experiment with it. And if you're like, oh man, but it sounded so good, where do I get it? The patch is always there. It'll take you right back. I'm just going to 1, which I've saved, and then 2, it goes right back to the original. So once again, let's just talk through it. The amp type is brown. The gain is at 66. The volume's at halfway. Now, if you just put this into your Katana, it's going to be really loud. So I have the master volume turned down because I'm just in a house, in a room. But when you first grab this patch and put it on, it's going to be cranked, which is fun. But I'm just warning you. Volume. We got bass past halfway, middle past halfway, treble at 77 just for that little bit of extra brightness. The mod, which is at 30%, we can call it, is the phase 90, which is the classic, based on the classic phaser that Ed Van Halen used. Nothing on the effects or booster. And then we've got that delay, which is the tone repeated and fades out. And then finally the reverb, which is the giant reverberation of the stadium. You put that all together, then what you can do is all you have to do is the master volume on the Katana. That will just change the overall volume of the whole thing. So you don't have to mess with your gains or your volume right here. Just use your master volume for the overall tone. Also, one thing I didn't mention is the presence, which is another kind of brightness that you can add to it. So let's... just adds a little, you hear a little more fidelity as you bring the presence up. It's a different, it's not necessarily treble, but it's a presence. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this little walk through the tones. I really had a lot of fun, and it's always cool to do something a little different for me. So this was a little different. If you guys like this, I will do this for more classic tones and artists. So let me know in the comments below. And also, please grab this patch for free, and you can have so much fun. I've been having a ball with it. So this patch, thanks to Boss, is in the links below. Also, huge shout out to Boss and the awesome Boss Katana for letting me jam on this with you guys. And thanks again for supporting Marty Music. If you haven't yet, I appreciate you subscribing, clicking the bell notification. And once again, got the links below. Take care, you guys. Hope to see you again soon.